What's going on YouTube? I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. So we all know that gas and electricity prices have gone insane. I don't know if you know this, but I live in Northern California, which is part of PG&E, that is Pacific Gas and Electric. My house came with solar, okay? Now, let me explain a few things. When a solar company, I wouldn't have bought solar if the house didn't come with it. Let me just say that right out, because $25,000 for solar is ridiculous. When you can buy a generator and a few solar panels, here you can literally get solar panels that are 100 watts for $10. Because everybody here has solar. This is kind of the solar capital of the world, and people always are upgrading and getting rid of their old stuff. But PG&E, if you remember, Aaron Brockovich, the movie, played by Julia Roberts, they are a absolutely corrupt company. So back then they were poisoning people knowingly, and people were basically dying and getting horrible cancers and everything else, and they did nothing, they said nothing, and they had to be sued. Now what is happening is within the last 5 to 8 years, something like that, all these wildfires are starting because of PG&E, and they're hiding behind all their lawyers and legal stuff and everything like that, not taking responsibility for all of these fires. But they are passing on, if they get sued for billions or trillions of dollars, because that's how much this company makes, they pass that cost on to the consumers. I have talked to people in my area. This is a lower middle income area, okay? It's not the Ritz-Carlton. It's not gated communities on the river. It's not any of that stuff. This is just 2 or 3 bedroom, 1 bath houses, okay? And they are paying $500 to $900 per month just on electricity, not including gas. Now, because I'm on solar, I don't pay a bill, but it is just a little bit, like, if I use any more electricity, there's going to be a charge at the end of the year. Right now, I am at negative $223. It's ish. And what happens is the way the bill works, it's September through September. So when I hit the winter months, I have to really, really conserve so that I can use my air conditioning in the summer. And then in the summer, sorry, I have that backwards. I have to really, I have to really conserve in the summer so that I can use my heater in the winter, because I don't have a fireplace. This is literally the first place I have ever lived that doesn't have a fireplace. So a lot of people are complaining that their electricity bills have doubled, quadrupled, gone up 4x. Their service charges are becoming too expensive, and I get it. Now, I'm not one on here just to say, oh yeah, you're right. That really sucks. There's no solution. Well, I am a solution-based person. So I'm going to tell you all of the stuff that I do around the house to conserve in electricity. First, we're going to start with the stuff. If you have $0 and 0 cents, here's what you're going to do. And then I'm going to go on to the semi-small cost things, and then we'll go into things that might require a little bit of labor, but are not really super expensive, because you don't want to be spending a lot of money in order to save half as much as you spend in order to save money, if that makes any sense. So let me get a couple of things. I'll be right back. Okay, here's number one. And in my broke days, and I'm still broke most of the time, this is what I did for $0 and 0 cents that'll help keep you warm. So if you have an old laundry detergent bottle, and if you don't have one, you can go to your recycling center, because when people are going through their cans and bottles, they find out that they don't get money for these and they throw them in the garbage. So go ahead and pick one of these up, or use your old one, fill it with hot water, and use it as a hot water bottle. It is, and then hug it. Or if your feet are cold, put it under your feet and put your feet on top of it to get warm. This works to me better than the fancy hot water bottles that you buy. It may not stay warm as long, but it stays warmer in the front end. So if you're really cold and you're really trying to heat up really fast, that's the way to go. The other one is the low-cost alternative, which is the hot water bottle. I'll leave links in the description box for whatever stuff I show here. This is actually very warm, and I think Rocky might like it. Here we go. Here we go. Nice little weighted weighted hot water bottle. Really great for kids. Costs about 10 to 15 bucks maybe. I'll have to look it up, but again, I'll leave the link down in the description box below. And here is another weird thing. I gotta take you with me. Okay, you all will have to excuse me for a couple of things. Number one, my light stopped working, and I need just this morning, and I need to get a new light, and it's not quite daylight out yet. So yes, I know I have a lot of junk, but this is a dryer. We all know a dryer. And yes, you want to hang your clothes on the line, but not everybody has the space or the clothesline to do that, or the time, because it does take longer to dry. And sometimes in the winter, people are in snowy or rainy conditions. But if you're going to use your dryer, let it serve a dual purpose. Here's what my mom did when we were little kids. Okay, see this? Okay, where is it? Okay, see that metal tube right there? Okay, so that metal tube comes out of the dryer. And usually it goes into a wall, and then the hot air gets pushed outside of the house. What my mom did when we were little kids, we had the dryer in the garage. She took a nylon stocking, like, you know, the kind ladies wear, like when they're wearing a dress, a nylon stocking, and she put it around that round ending of the tube. Stuck the tube into the doggy door, into the house in the wintertime. And all that heat that's coming out of the dryer that usually goes outside is now coming inside. And the nylon stocking is so that all the lint doesn't come flying out. Technically, if you're desperate enough, you could do it without the stocking, or maybe you could find a different material, something like something meshy, so that the air will still circulate through, but the lint will stop. It heats up the room. Now, I do want to give you a quick little thing, a little tidbit. Moisture is going to be a thing in whatever room is, because you're drying wet clothes, so that moisture is going to come through too. So usually moisture is good for your lungs, but if it's not good for your lungs, then maybe that's not a good idea to do, but there's another option. Okay, once you go mini split, you don't go back. You don't go back to central AC and heat. This is meant, my house is about 1,000 square feet. This is like meant for like 1,400 square feet. I got no problem getting warm, and it happens fairly fast. But if you are doing laundry and you dry your laundry somewhere in front of the thing, okay, it's going to, again, bring moisture into the air while the heater is on. So it's going to make it feel hotter than it actually is. It has the same effect of a ceiling fan in the summertime. It makes the air circulate. Well, this adds moisture to the air when you hang your clothes in front of the heater. And here's another tip. When you are in the bath or shower, if you're taking a shower, plug it up. If you're taking a bath, you're gonna plug it up anyway. When you're done taking your hot shower, because nobody takes cold showers in the winter unless you're crazy, unless you're a cold plunge person, which I don't think many people are because it's torture. But if you take a bath or a shower, plug it up, close the window, and yes, moisture is gonna be a thing, but you open the door so that all that steam, all that hot air, all the heat comes back into your house. It's gonna make your house about 1 or 2 degrees warmer. And then after about a half an hour, whenever the water cools down, then you just go ahead and, you know, drain it like you normally would. It'll save. All right, so here's one of the things that I have and I always use. I'm actually wearing it right now. I am wearing a heated vest, an electric heated vest, okay? And you're gonna need a battery, something like this, to go with your heated vest. There is a plug in the pocket that looks like, I don't know if you can see that, like kind of like an iPhone plug, except the other end. Now, this is a battery that I found on one of my walks, and this fits perfectly in the pocket. So I'm gonna try, I didn't know that these existed in this shape, but look. See, it turns on. It's got 3 different heats. Now you can get vests like this one, or I also have jackets and I have vests. Some of them will heat just certain areas. Some will do here, some will do the back, some will do the lower, some will do the lower in the front, back, everywhere. Some of them are full vests, and you get to choose your heat. You can have low, medium, or high. So if you are super cold, that's the way to go. There's also some that I have not used, which you put around your neck, and it keeps your neck and your shoulders super hot. It's more of a sports thing, but I think that in these times we kind of need to say like, okay, it's okay if I buy it even though I don't do the sport, because I need to keep warm. Another thing that I do is, as you can see behind me, this gray blanket, that's a heated blanket. So Rocky's getting older, so he has arthritis in his joints, but as you can see, there's several levers, and it adds layers to your couch. This is not, and always get them on sale. You know, I'll leave you a link in the description box for what I can see, but go with colors you like, and get whatever's cheapest, because it's just a throw blanket. It doesn't really, the color or the quality doesn't matter. They last forever. Oh my gosh, Rocky is so cute with his little heated thingamajig. Okay, let's go on to the next. Okay, you see those little things over there? Those are for my heat. It's not a heated blanket that goes on top of you. Okay, this is a heated blanket that goes up against your mattress, because the theory is that heat rises up, but your body is going to be in there and covers on top, so the heat's going to stay in between the mattress and the blankets. If you have a heated blanket, it goes on top and the hot air evaporates out the top. So I would always recommend a mattress one. Do not go with Sunbeam. Sunbeam's good in a pinch, and they're definitely cheaper, but I've gone through 4 Sunbeams in the past, and they only last about 3 or 4 months each. And then I bought whatever brand this is, which I will put in a link in the description box, but I've had this for probably 8-10 years, something like that. My grandma bought it for me years ago when she was still alive, and I still have it and still use it. And I bought a second one for my guest room because it works really like that well. Now, it doesn't have to just be about keeping warm. It can be about conserving electricity altogether, because if you're conserving electricity in other areas, you might be able to have that excess electricity to keep yourself warm. So here's a couple of other things that I do around the house to save on regular electricity. May seem silly, but simple placement of a lamp in the front window. Okay, hear me out. Now, everybody's got a porch light, and everybody's got some sort of space in front of a window in front of their living room. So instead of at night having 2 lights on, one outside, one porch lamp, and one indoor lamp, because if I have to get up and go to the bathroom, and I don't want to trip over the dogs, so I have to have a little bit of light. So I always keep this light on in my house, and my bedroom's like at the other side of the house, but I can still see everything with just this light. But I turn off the porch light at night, because why use electricity if the light here, if I'm walking in my front yard and I need to find my keys, I can see through the blinds that are closed. With that light, I can find my keys. And it also lets people know that someone is home for a simple safety thing. Be safe. Okay, I apologize. I can't show you the TV. It's a big, giant, beautiful TV. I'm watching Unexplained Zone using free streaming services using my Wi-Fi. However, here's something. So behind that is, what's it called? It's a plug that holds like 6 plugs. Electrical cord thingy. Surge protector. There we go. It's a surge protector back there. Behind the TV, I can turn on, this is also a secondary heat source. So I can turn on my electric fireplace. I can do it for ambiance, or I can do it with heat. I've got my DVD player. I've got my TV. I've got my modem all behind that TV right there. Now, when I go to bed, I'm not watching streaming TV, and I'm not playing on my computer or using the Wi-Fi in any way. So I turn it off at the surge protector. Now, the thing about this is especially important for people who have big families. If you can get everything you can onto a single surge protector and shut it off at night when you go to bed, think about it. The next day, your kids are going to school, you're going to work, nobody comes home till 5 p.m. So why use all that power? Like, you know, the modem takes power, the TV has light. It's a lot of phantom power that you're losing. So why have all those things on? Just flip them off. And then when you get home, flip the switch again. And in 5 minutes, everything is up and running again. Oh, it's a lovely photo, isn't it? Yeah. It is covering my box covering the box. So what I do, actually today is a good day to do this. So I keep my water heater off. My water heater is overkill. It's old. It's from 2008. It's ready to go. It's heated. It's basically overheating the water. And I have not, every time I go to buy a new water heater, which will be a brand new energy efficient 30 gallon instead of 40 gallon, something happens. So I'm going to get around to it. I swear I am. But in the meantime, consider turning off your water heater from the switch, or if you have some sort of water timer and you can do that and it's not hardwired, go for it, but mine's hardwired, so I can't. But shut off the water heater or the electricity to any rooms that you're not using, because that will kill the phantom power in the room. However, with the water heater, what it does is it doesn't just turn on once a day. It turns on 4, 5, 6 times a day, however many times of day it takes to keep the water at temperature. So lower it down to 120, 140 degrees, whatever it is. If you are taking a bath or a shower and you don't have it on full blast hot and you're using cold water, meaning, you're using half hot and half cold, that means you're overheating your water. You're basically spending electricity to make the water hotter than you need. Now here, because this thing is giant and I take short showers or one really long bath, depends on the day, I can turn this on once every 3 days and it will stay warm enough to be comfortable. And once every 3 days, using 2,000 watt or two 1,000 watt elements, 4,000 watts at a time, it's going to save a lot of electricity. So using it once every 3 days instead of 4, 5, 6, however many times a day it turns on to keep the water at temperature, that's using 1/18 as much, just keeping the water at a temperature that is right for me. Here's something that you can do that is fairly easy. I have a fancy fridge. Do I regret purchasing it? Yes and no. Okay, this is the smallest I could get that has a freezer on the bottom and a fridge on the top, and it's always been my dream to have a fancy fridge like that. However, they're not energy efficient. They're actually less efficient than a top freezer, and it's more than I need, so it's a big of a bummer, and it's digital, so I can't set it analog at low, medium, or high. So it's at 39 degrees, but if you have an analog fridge, go ahead and check on the inside. There's going to be a little dial, and put it on 3 or medium, right smack dab in the middle. You don't need your water in your refrigerator to be frozen. Okay, you want the water in your fridge to be cold, you want the water in your freezer to be frozen. Also, if you are in the market for a new refrigerator, decide if it's the right size, because look, see that's dog food and a cup of coffee, and then a fruit drawer. It's way too much fridge for me. I was good with this one's 15 cubic feet, I believe. I was good with my 11 cubic foot, and I would like to go down to a 10 cubic foot, but they don't make them top fridge, lower freezer in that size. Come on, manufacturers, if you're a fridge maker out there and you're watching this video, make them smaller. Here's a money saver that I do that people always laugh at. This is a candle made out of leftover wax from my previous candles, along with beef tallow that I rendered myself that doesn't have any smell, and a coffee mug that was given to me for Christmas that has my nephews on it. There's Duke, there's Bronson. Now the problem is, this coffee cup's from 2023, and as you all know, children grow really fast. My nephews don't look like this anymore. They look totally different. Totally different. All right, everybody, those were the cheaper options that we have available for you. Now let's go into the options that are not expensive, but they're not free. Okay, here's what I did. I have single ply windows. I recently got a quote to replace 3 of my windows, and they wanted $2,000. However, the only reason I'm replacing them is because they're broken. Because it's not on purpose, but my neighbor was doing yard work or having yard work done, and the pebbles from his yard with the weed whacker came and got my windows. So because I am at break-even point with this house, I'm putting as little money into it as possible. All the renovations are done. It's up to code. It's up to my standards. Anyway. So I bought styrofoam. Now, if you have $0.00 and maybe you've got some bubble wrap lying around, that's a good way to go. However, I have found that the styrofoam is as good as having a wall there. Let's just say that. You just buy the styrofoam and this tape. And also I put up UV film because the sun blaring in from that side of the house, which is east at nighttime, was just, oh my gosh. And then over here, I did it on this one too. I wish that this was just a wall, but it's a big giant window because the houses built in 1915 or the early 1900s were built to have airflow because they didn't have heating or air conditioning back then. So I get the airflow concept, but it is so hot in the summertime. Yeah. Anyway, it has the original single pane windows. So I put styrofoam and that tape on there as well as the UV protection. Snug as a bug in a rug, okay? Another thing that I did is when I came in, there was blown in insulation in the attic that was not sufficient at all. I went and bought rolls. They're like $45, $50 a roll. And I put probably 8 or 9 of them in the attic in this living room area, which is where the heater, mini split heater and air conditioner is. Again, snug as a bug in a rug. It is warm. Actually, I'm gonna turn off the heater. It's set at 72, but I'm a little bit too warm. Okay. So that is something that should be number one is insulation. Insulation, insulation, insulation. It's gonna be your biggest money saver, and it'll pay for itself in 1 to 2 years. And it'll greatly improve the quality of your life just in terms of comfort. All right, folks, hope this video has been useful to you. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out.